This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball, and it's opening week 2017 around the game. Tonight from downtown St. Louis and Busch Stadium. Perfect night for baseball as the St. Louis Cardinals welcome in for the first time this year the Cincinnati Reds. And when you talk about the Reds, they have one of the best hitters in all of baseball, Joey Votto, the first baseman of Cincinnati. Meanwhile, on the other side for the Cardinals, off to a very good start, outfielder Randal Grichuk. Both are in the lineup tonight. Jim Hayes is with us. That's the Cardinals Hall of Famer, Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Great to have you with us. One of the things that stood out in the first three games as the Cardinals dropped 2 of 3 was pretty good starting pitching. It's a look at our BJC Healthcare difference maker.
Yeah, the one thing you can't really count on when you see those starters is the record. Obviously, the record's going to take care of itself for the long haul, but for the most part, these guys did their job going out there, keeping their team in the game, and getting deep into the game, except for you see Martinez a little bit more exceptional, but they went out there and did what they're supposed to do.
A bright spot in the Cardinals bullpen, right-hander Matt Bowman.
Matt Bowman pitched to 6 different guys this year already and only given up 1 hit. So he's been the one bright spot for sure that we're just going to talk about right now in that bullpen, with a lot of talent yet to come the rest of this year.
Cardinals are set to go. Mike Leake, the former Red, gets the call tonight. Big crowd expected. Cincinnati, St. Louis, and it's coming up. Well, the Cardinals dropped 2 of 3 against Chicago. The Reds winning 2 of 3 against the Phillies in their opening series at home. Reds, by tradition in baseball, always open up at home. And along with Jim Edmonds, the Cardinals Hall of Famer, I'm Dan McLaughlin. And Jim Hayes is with us as well. A beautiful night for baseball. There's a look at the new hairstyle of Carlos Martinez. Under that ski cap, David Bell there, and the rest of the crew ready to take to the field as Mike Leake will make the start tonight. Now, Mike Leake a year ago overall went 9-12 with an ERA of 4.69. The former Red makes his 2017 debut tonight. Brian Price, in his 4th season as the manager of the Cincinnati Reds, took over for Dusty Baker, former pitching coach of Cincinnati, asked to develop this team, which is very, very young. The youngest roster in all of Major League Baseball. Billy Hamilton leads it off, followed by Jose Peraza, then Joey Votto, Adam Duvall, Scott Schebler, Zach Cozart, Scooter Gennett, Tucker Barnhart, a switch hitting catcher, and Amir Garrett, the athletic pitcher and lefty for the Reds. Meanwhile, the numbers from a season ago on Mike Leake, very good though in spring training. The 29-year-old was 3-1 in 6 starts.
We thought that spring training was going to be something we were going to witness last year. Didn't work out that well, but an improved Mike Leake this year, learned a lot. Be interesting to see how he starts out this season. If he learned anything from last year, he's going to be special this year. And ground balls, what hopefully we're going to see tonight.
The Cardinals defense is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers as we go around the horn. Grichuk in left, Fowler is in center, Piscotty in right. Then Peralta, Diaz, Wong, and Carpenter along the infield, and Yadier Molina is behind the plate. He's a fun player to watch. The question has always been with Billy Hamilton, can he get on base enough to be a leadoff man? But once he's on, watch out, great speed.
And the one thing about a guy like this, and we've had a chance to watch him a lot, is maybe not him as much, but a speedster, they get stuck. Do they try to get on base? Do they slap at the ball? Do they try to use their speed only? That's such a difficult spot for a guy to turn himself into a good hitter and not just slap and run. So Billy Hamilton's trying to do a little bit of both.
And the first pitch is popped up to the left side and out of play. Hamilton last year hit .260, 3 home runs, and 17 RBIs. So you get a look at our Toyota key to the game, no doubt about it. Solid defense. There's a fly ball into right. Piscotty is there. And there's one away.
So for me right there, what I love about that is he took two pretty good swings. Got jammed maybe a little off the end of the bat, but first swing was a big swing. He's just not going to go up there and give himself up and try to slap a ball in the hole and try to beat out an infield hit. Why not hit a ball in the corner in the gap, maybe a double, triple, get started.
Jose Peraza looks at strike one. The Reds traded Brandon Phillips to Atlanta. Open up the spot every day for Peraza, who can also play shortstop. Line to second, 2 quick outs. Colton Wong puts it away. And in steps Joey Votto. Interesting season a year ago for Joey Votto. April and May combined hit .213 last year. In the final 4 months, he batted .378 as he slaps that foul. Truly one of the great players and hitters in our game today.
He definitely is. And Joey Votto's always had that rap where another guy in between. Is he supposed to go after the home runs and the RBIs, or does he play his game and use his eyes with his ability to walk and get on base? Most people want to see him hit home runs because he's hitting third, making a lot of money, but you got to play your game and do whatever gets you here.
Broken bat, ground ball to third, and Johnny Peralta makes the play. Good start for Mike Leake. The Reds go 1-2-3. Fowler and the Cardinals coming up in the bottom of the first. Garrett finishing up his warm-up tosses. Joe West, there was a little stoppage of play before we even began in terms of the teams warming up. Before the Cardinals took the field, he was checking on, I believe, the headset there, and then doing it again between innings. So Joe West, our crew chief behind home plate, then Hunter Windelstedt, Andy Fletcher, and Alan Porter, our umpiring crew here tonight. Switch hitting, Dexter Fowler leads it off, followed by Aledmys Diaz and Matt Carpenter. Then Stephen Piscotty, Johnny Peralta, Yadier Molina, Randall Grichuk, Colton Wong, and Mike Leake. Watching the warm-up throws of Amir Garrett as Mike Matheny gets an explanation from Joe West, and when we hear what it's all about, we'll pass it along. But Amir Garrett looks like Aroldis Chapman. I'm not saying it's a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but his delivery and body and mannerisms very similar.
And that's what a little bit what we were told earlier too, is when he first started throwing, he was a little herky-jerky, and they reminded him a lot of Aroldis Chapman, but been told that he's a little smoother now. Pretty exceptional athlete from what we saw on video with that basketball,
to say the least.
Wow.
The only Cardinal to hit in all 3 games is Dexter Fowler, and looks at a ball low. He'll throw that ball out. The first pitch in the big league career of Amir Garrett. Garrett 6'6", 230 pounds. As Fowler chops one foul. We had the chance to visit with Walt Jocketty, who drafted Garrett before the game. Walt, kind enough, the former Cardinals and Reds GM, to stop in our booth and visit with us, and he said he really likes this young man. Last year he split time at Double A and Triple A. Their Double A affiliate is in Pensacola. Triple A is Louisville. Combined 2.55 ERA. In nearly 150 innings. There's Walt Jocketty. Marty Meyer, longtime Cardinals scout, on the left. And he was scouting the Cardinals all spring training. Leadoff walk, Dexter Fowler. That first big league start, the idea of the Cardinals may be make him throw strikes. You know he's nervous. The heart is pumping.
Yep. It doesn't matter what you played, what sport you played, college, basketball, big crowds. There's nothing like pitching in the big leagues, and especially being on the mound with the ball in your hand.
Here's Aledmys Diaz. Looks at a ball.
I got a chance to talk to Brian Price today for a good 15-20 minutes, and they had a lot of good things to say about this young man. They said his competitiveness is the thing that they love the most, He's going to pitch between 92, 93-ish, can get it up to 96. And they really just like the fact that he's going to go out there and come right at you, and he's not afraid.
Fowler doing a little work there at first base.
It's about the time of the year right now as a base runner where the field's really wet because they have to water it down just in case, but when you don't get that heat and that sun.
Off the end of the bat into right. Schebler backing up to make the catch.
You don't get the heat and the sun to dry it out, especially with these cool nights. Sometimes it's a little wet down there, especially the first 2 innings. The ground crew does such an amazing job of getting this field ready, especially at this time of the year for St. Louis. A little moisture in the air, and it makes it tough on the base stealers.
Very chilly afternoon yesterday. It's cooled off a bit here today, and we understand the temperatures will get into the 80s this weekend, so grab a ticket, come on out. Here's Matt Carpenter hitting 182 after the first 3 games. Fastball and a strike at 92. Garrett is listed as the top pitching prospect for the Cincinnati Reds, number 2 prospect overall behind third baseman Nick Senzel. The 0-1. Out to left, sinking liner, and it's caught by Duvall. See him shaking his head. You've been out there at this time of night here at this ballpark. You really fight the lights.
Especially when the ball's kind of in between, like that low line drive with just a little tiny arc in it. And if you have to go to towards center fielder, towards the center fielder as a right fielder and a left fielder, you get this big bank of lights that's kind of up over the dugout, and it really plays havoc in the corner outfielders. Not to mention when it's hit like that, little sink to it. It's tough out there some days, let me tell you.
Sure. You've been there. You know.
I'd much rather be in center field any day than on those 2 corners.
Here's Steven Piscotty. First pitch. Popped up. Right field. Schebler under it, makes the catch after a leadoff walk. The Cardinals go in order, and now Amir Garrett can breathe. He's in the big leagues. We head to the second. No score. Names to that staff, but that is Blaze Ilsley, longtime bullpen coach of the St. Louis Cardinals. The talk yesterday, the ball that stuck in the protective chest protector of Yadier Molina. With more on that, let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, a little bit of controversy there, Dan. Brett Cecil was talking about it today, and he said this of the wild pitch that stuck to Yadier Molina's chest protector. If I could explain it, I would. I can't. He denied putting any substance on the baseball, saying if I was throwing something that sticky, I would be throwing 45-foot dirt balls. I'll give you guys all my gloves. You can check them. I know I don't put anything on the ball. Cecil also said he's not surprised that this has become a big story. He said, I fully expected it. I've never seen anything like it, and I've been pitching a long, long time. Dan, a bizarre, bizarre moment, to say the least, yesterday.
Adam Duvall at the plate. Jimmy, I know you had the chance to go in the clubhouse yesterday and also visit with Yadier Molina about that situation.
Yeah, Yadi denied that there was anything sticky on his chest protector, and he said, I wish that I could figure out what happened. He had no idea. Came out, answered the questions, but still, we don't know what really happened, except we have a couple of guys saying, look, there's no substance on the ball or the chest protector, but it was a weird moment, Dan.
No doubt. A strike 2, Duvall. Thank you, Jim. 1-2 the count. Remember, Adam Duvall came from San Francisco for Mike Leake. Reds traded Leake to the Giants, and Duvall had 20 RBIs last year in 18 games against the Cardinals.
It's pretty tough to do. I saw that little note in the stats stuff today, and I was like, really? It's not possible?
He had a good year. He was an all-star.
Pretty good. Well, he did have a pretty good year, but that's pretty impressive to do against one team.
33 home runs a season ago. And a swing and a miss. First strikeout for Mike Leake tonight. So if you missed it yesterday, here it is. And I'm sure, Jimmy, you have never seen this in your career either. The ball stuck on the chest protector of Yadier Molina. Can't find it. Has no idea where it is. It's stuck on his chest protector.
So there's no, and look at his chest protector right there. There is no amount of goo that you could put on anything to have it stick like that with him moving around. And pretty interesting. If you really, I would love to see that again really slow. It looks like it indented the chest protector.
Ground ball that's hit to Carpenter. He'll take it himself. 5 up, 5 down.
The way those chest protectors are made, there's so much give to them and so much rubber in there that if you look really close, it almost looks like the ball has impaled and kind of created suction. I saw a shot of when he turned a little bit to the side, and you can almost see the ripple in the chest protector. And there's a hole right there. But it's the gear that they wear is amazing, and that doesn't surprise me one bit. As soft as some of that stuff is, and so much gel, inserts that they have on all their equipment, even behind his hard knee pads on the inside of their shin guards, there's like a gel type, almost like a football helmet.
Off the bat of Cozart, tailing towards Piscotty. He won't get there. Cuts it off. Cozart on his way to second, diving in with a 2-out double. And the first hit tonight for either side. It brings in Scooter Gennett, the former Milwaukee Brewer.
Zach Cozart right there with a really good inside-out swing. That is going to get you a long way in this game. The ball's kind of middle in. Didn't try to do too much, especially with Mike Leake being a sinker ball pitcher. You would think a lot of these guys are out there trying to pull the ball. It's a good job of hitting right there.
See what he does here on the first pitch. 474 that average. And he looks at his strike. Gennett, by the way, is a Cincinnati native, so he comes back home. And he provided an opening day home run for the Reds. Claimed off of waivers from Milwaukee. And tonight he's at third base. Hits it the other way and right into the glove of Peralta. Takes a hit and an RBI away from Scooter Gennett. Coming up for St. Louis, it'll be Johnny Peralta, Yadier Molina, Randall Grichuk. Midway through 2, and there's no score. Centers, Duvall, Hamilton, Schebler in the outfield, Gennett, Cozart on the left side of the infield, Barraza and Votto on the right side, and Barnhart is behind the plate. The strike 2, Johnny Peralta. Here's a look at Jim Riggleman, an old friend, longtime baseball man. As Peralta, the 0-1 delivery, pops it up to the right side. Votto will give it a look, and it's out of play. Last year, Johnny Peralta with career home run number 200, the 23rd Dominican-born player to hit 200. Number 1 on that list, Sammy Sosa at 609. And a guy named Albert at 591. Pujols entering his 17th Major League season in 2017.
Been that long already?
17
Holy
years.
Moly.
Here's a 1-2. And Peralta again to the right side. Votto going back and makes the catch. Speaking of home runs, the Cardinals hit 35 against the Reds last year. Most against any opponent, as St. Louis won 10 of the 19 matchups between these two teams. There's Mike Schilt there on the left. He is your modern day George Kissel, if you will. Number of years in the minor leagues. Great baseball man. I see you laughing. I love talking to Mike Schilt.
He's got a long way to catch up to George.
He does.
I was laughing just because the way you said it. But he has been around. And he does a great job. And it's funny because you want to say, oh, he does a great job with the young players. And then you see him sitting in there in the big league clubhouse or big league dugout. And he's finally getting his chance.
I asked him today, I said, did you see the ground ball off the bat of Molina to second baseman Jose Barraza? I said, do you miss managing, running the game, being in the minor leagues, and I thought he'd say, yeah, I kind of miss it. He said, no, I love being in the big leagues. This has been great.
It's a little different atmosphere, maybe a little less responsibility, but yeah, this is where you want to be.
Mike told me something very interesting as you get a look at Randal Grichuk, and it's at the perfect time because the Reds now shift. I said, how often did you shift in the minor leagues? And he said, more than you would know or think, because the scouting and the ability to scout in the minor leagues has grown to where you now have video down there, and the games are shown on TV, on the internet a lot of times, so they'll record those games. And he said, we did it for competition, number one. You know, if a player was going to pull, we played him to pull, but he said we also are trying to develop players to get used to the shift, and our pitchers in particular, because we know when they get to the big leagues, the shift is going to be used all the time.
It's interesting that you say that, because from what I know around the league, this is one of the organizations that they build from the top down, no matter what. And they're getting everybody ready to play here. You go to other organizations, everyone's just playing, and when they get there, make the adjustment.
The fly ball off the bat of Randal Grichuk. Mike Leake back to work when we return. Leake, and really varied up those multiple pitches that he has in spring training, calling it the best spring training that he's ever had. There's a ball to Tucker Barnhart, second year of a 5-year deal. Said he was more comfortable, and something I want you to look at, Jimmy, is his motion. He said his motion this year is different than last year, to where he's generating a little bit more arm speed and power with that motion. We'll see if that plays out here in 2017. One ball, one strike.
You know what you said too, a lot of guys over the years will get really comfortable trying to hit spots and forget that they're not generating any motion towards the plate. And so body's slow, arms fast, and it creates problems. And so your body and your arm kind of have to go as one big unit, and if one's going faster than the other, it creates a lot of problems. Like I said, a little more drag, you have less control. So creating that same momentum going forward with your body and your arm is a big deal. And sometimes I think you can get complacent, and really, especially a guy like Mike, trying to work on just hitting his spots and forgets about going out there and really letting it go once in a while.
3-2 the count. Look at the delivery of Mike Leake. And that's what he was talking about too. Sometimes the body would get ahead of the arm and drag. Pitches become flat. And he comes back to strike out Tucker Barnhart. Second strikeout tonight for Mike Leake. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks. The pitch to Tucker Barnhart.
And you can just see right there, it looks like he's just giving a little bit more effort. So everything's moving a little bit quicker towards the plate, which I would think in turn would be less work on the arm, less stress, because your body's like in the outfield. For me, when I'm running in, catching a ball and trying to throw the ball at home plate, I want my momentum to give me the acceleration with my throw and not just have to stand still and throw with my arm. And so I would think that would be the same kind of thing on the mound.
1 ball, 1 strike on Amir Garrett, who pitched in the Futures game the last 2 years and was the winner at the Great American Ballpark. So he played basketball at St. John's, 4-star recruit, ranked 68th in the country, 21st best small forward. He played 2 years with St. John's.
Of course he's a great athlete. I mean, he's from California. What do you expect?
And you're from?
California,
right.
Sorry.
Yeah. Shocking. It's all by you, Jimmy.
Nope, it's all about California.
2-2 the count.
So maybe something to have to do with the weather. People getting out of the house all year round. I don't know.
The 2-2 pitch. And Leake struck him out. 2 in a row and 3 tonight for Mike Leake.
really good slider right there. I mean, you don't throw him any better than that. 2 strikes. Head down, good angle, the very bottom of the zone. Might have wasted that on a pitcher. You need that one for later on when you got a jam out on the bases.
So brings in Billy Hamilton back to the top of the lineup. And Hamilton looks at a strike. Mike Leake, a great story, his own right, 21st player to jump straight to the major leagues without appearing in a minor league game. Broken bat and a base hit into center. So a 2-out hit for Billy Hamilton. If you're wondering, Hamilton has attempted 25 stolen bases when Molina's been behind the plate, and he's only been caught twice.
Feel sorry for the rest of the league then.
And Hamilton's had pretty good success now against Mike Leake. He's 6 for 8. And it brings in Peraza.
There's just no way to really defend this kind of speed. I mean, there's no one else like that in the league where you can say, hey, in spring training we're going to work on this because there's 5 or 6 guys you got to keep an eye on. There's one guy like this. You can't speed up any more than you've already worked on. You just try to keep him off balance, keep him close, keep him guessing.
At one point a year ago, Billy Hamilton in 3 straight games had 9 steals total, most in franchise history for a 3-game series. Wound up with 58 total. Not running, and the pitch is hit out of play. It's something that we may see all weekend long with Peraza at the plate is Stephen Piscotty playing in and right. A lot of the base hits for Peraza are to right and shallow right. And you can see the defense really shifting now to the right side.
You can almost see Piscotty moving in even a little bit more.
Well,
sorry about that. I was going to say, this is where you play the pitcher too. You know, if Mike's going to pitch in with the sinker and then a little bit of a slider away to be the out pitch, that's when the flare is going to come into shallow right field.
1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs and a runner at first. Another check on Hamilton, and this is what Mike Matheny talked about in spring training. The numbers are way down for Yadier Molina a year ago. He threw out only 18 of 85 base stealers. That's 21%, half of what he's done in the past overall. The Cardinals caught only 25 of 110. So he wanted his pitchers to be more cognizant of base stealing. There's your fly ball into right, and there's Piscotty. So Peraza, like we thought he might, flies out to right. And we're midway through 3. It'll be Wong, Leake, and Fowler coming up. A scoreless ball game. Is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Here's Colton Wong. And I'm sure this is a vote of confidence after watching Wong swing the bat yesterday, especially late, as he gets a start against a left-hander here tonight.
Had a little shift on going right now with the outfield and the infield.
There's a point to be made about that. Sometimes teams will play straight up in the outfield but shift on the infield. That's the first strikeout in the career of Amir Garrett.
Pretty good slider right here. You can see breaking out of the zone. Sometimes when you face a guy for the first time, especially a lefty, you know he's got 95 in him. It's pretty tough at bat because you don't know what's coming from what angle. There's nothing you can do on video that can prepare you to stand in the box and hit in real time.
Mike Leake pops it foul and out of play. A career 203 hitter. and 6 home runs in his career. The Reds used 15 different starting pitchers a year ago. 10 different against St. Louis. And 10 different guys made their major league debuts as a starting pitcher, as it was a long season for Brian Price and the Reds.
Pretty good changeup.
1-2 the count. Leak, a base hit into center. One out hit for Mike Leake. Brian Price, last time we saw him in St. Louis, one of the oddest finishes we've ever had at this ballpark. What should have been a ground rule double off the bat of Yadier Molina. Hopped over the fence, hit the signage behind the left field wall, and it allowed Matt Carpenter to score the game-winning run and keep the playoff hopes alive for the Cardinals. And here it is. And Brian Price, you have 10 seconds as to whether or not you want to come out and challenge. From his perspective, easily should have just popped out of the dugout and said, hey, I want to challenge it. But by that point, the umpires were going back to their room, and game over.
That was a wild finish.
Sure was. But the point being, he had nothing to lose by coming out and saying, hey, I want you guys to take a look at it. And he never did until it was too late. 1-1 the count on Fowler, who walked his first time up. Talked with Dexter the other day before the game, and he works out in the offseason with Barry Bonds a lot in Las Vegas. So what do you take away from Barry Bonds? He said pitch selection. He said he was so great at identifying a pitch to hit and trying to do some damage with it. And that's the message he imparts to those that he works with. Trying to find that one pitch and drive it.
The thing about the hitting with Barry was so strong, so big, that his swing was so short to generate so much power. He could wait as long as anyone ever and get a good pitch to hit. Some of these guys with longer swings, that's harder to do because they got to get started. They're worried about getting their hands out. They're worried about fastball getting on top of them. So, I mean, he's right, but it was a little easier for him with that swing than it is for a lot of other guys. And even for me, sometimes swinging at that high fastball, you're trying to do too much, and you know some days you just don't feel as good as you normally do, and you try to do a little bit more, and that's when you lose your pitch selection.
3-2 the count now on Fowler. Leak, a good athlete that can run a little bit. Fowler, a guy that gets on base a lot. See what they want to do here. 3-2, not running, and the pitch is fouled back.
You know, that's one of the things in speaking with Mark McGwire over the years that was his whole thing. His preach was pitch selection and driving the ball up the middle, stay up the middle, so you're not trying to do too much pulling off. You're not trying to be too picky, so you just stay up the middle and really get a good pitch to hit. But you watched Mark. He never really swung super hard. He never got out of control.
Fowler with a fly ball out to left. Backing up a step or two, Duvall makes the catch. Leak back to the bag at first, and there's 2 down. Brings in Aledmys Diaz. Fly to right his first time up. Amir Garrett signed on the August 15th deadline, a bonus of $1 million. It was a contract that also allowed him to play basketball, as we mentioned, at St. John's. The bonus, by the way, is spread out over 5 years, which allowed him to play hoops, and then eventually, after 2 years, dedicated all his sports to baseball. And he did that after his grandfather passed away. His grandfather was his biggest influence, teaching him the game of baseball. And he started playing when he was 9. And when his grandfather passed away, and he writes Pops, the bill of the cap inside, that was his grandfather's name. He said when he passed away, it was my way to honor him, as Diaz flies out to Billy Hamilton. So Amir Garrett, major league debut. So far, so good. We head to the 4th, and there's no score here at Busch. Debut of Alex Reyes as he hit triple digits against the Cincinnati Reds. And Jim had a chance to catch up with Alex before the game. Jimmy, what do you got?
Yeah, Alex Reyes had such high hopes for what would have been his first full big league season. It ended before it ever got started when he had the Tommy John surgery back in February. We talked with him on the pregame show, and he told me getting the news that he was done for the season was beyond awful, but he told him, quote, "There's nothing that's going to change that. The only thing that can get me back is hard work." He said he had been pitching with a partial tear for a few years, so he knew it could happen. He also said he drew inspiration from Lance Lynn's start yesterday. Lynn made his first start since Tommy John surgery, and Reyes told me, quote, "That got me excited. Lance looked like himself." Dan Reyes says they'll take the brace off in a week or so, and that's when the real work begins.
Good news there. And unfortunately, Alex Reyes not part of the bullpen or the rotation. Cardinals were not sure how they were going to use him at the beginning of the season, but it's a loss nonetheless, and a big one for John Mozeliak and his club. As Votto grounds out to third, he's 0 for 2, and it brings in Adam Duvall. Duvall struck out swinging first time up. He is from Louisville, Kentucky, played at the University of Louisville. One of his former teammates was a former Cardinal and left-hander Dean Kekeffer, who is now with the Seattle Mariners organization. Here's a 1-0. And the 1-1. Hit out of play and foul. The ground ball rate a year ago for Mike Leake was 54%. Third in the National League. So one of the keys is, Jimmy pointed out, trust your defense. He's going to put the ball in play. The 1-2. On the inside corner and struck him out. 4 strikeouts tonight for Mike Leake. Reminder, this Sunday, April 9th, 30,000 fans ages 16 and older receive a replica Stephen Piscotty road gray jersey presented by Scott Credit Union. So cheer on the Cardinals as they finish their first homestand. Wish them well on their first road trip. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. A strike to Scott Schebler, who is the primary right fielder now after the trade of Jay Bruce to the New York Mets. Leake looks good.
He does. I was just thinking that you watch, talked about this in the past, you watch the misses, not the strikes. You watch him, he's missing on the same side, he's missing close. It's been really around the glove all night, and that is a huge key for him. Yachty's got a good game plan. They got a good game plan. Now you just got to go out there and follow the glove around and hit your spots.
Outfield is straight away. Shift on the infield. 1-2 the count on Schebler. And he struck him out. He knew it. 5 strikeouts tonight for Mike Leake. We head to the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Carpenter, Piscotty, and Peralta. 2 Ks in the inning for Leake and 5 total so far. Grand Mac sandwich and get a free small fries and medium frozen Coke with your purchase. Well, somebody did some damage during BP.
Oh. Balls are carrying again, I'm telling you.
Give it a month, then they really carry.
Wonder what kind of sticky substance is on that one.
We're not talking about it. Here's Carpenter, and the first pitch is a strike.
Nothing but metal and glass stuck in that ball.
Yep.
Someone should have to pay for that G.
Remember Holiday a few years ago knocked the eye out of Big Mac Land during live action.
There was no other better home run or story than when Big Mac hit the
Post-dispatch
sign,
yes.
and they put a Band-Aid over it.
On
That
it.
is the greatest thing I've ever seen in baseball. Not to mention probably the farthest home run I've ever seen hit. I mean, like, that's indescribable, right? How far that ball went.
That was probably the furthest I had seen him hit a ball. We saw him hit a bunch. It was unbelievable. Here's a 1-2. Carpenter lined out to left his first time up.
I mean, that's like hitting a ball off that Coca-Cola sign out there.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah. The 2-2 pitch. Carpenter puts it in play. And they get him by a step. Hey, Cardinal fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports Midwest and Cardinals baseball with you wherever you go.
And for all you watching at home, that's the Coca-Cola sign. Sometimes me and Danny just think we're up here by ourselves talking to each other and like no one's watching at home. Sorry, guys.
As Piscotty taps it foul to Chris Maloney. I agree. I think that would be about the same distance, roughly, in that area.
You know, in that old stadium, too, playing and watching batting practice over the years, I've seen guys hit the ball off that black spot right there. And the ball used to carry in the old stadium. That black background was a little bit closer, I think. But it's pretty good comparison. And that's how much farther and on the line, too.
Right. Here's a 1-1. Mark McGwire is up for the Cardinals Hall of Fame, and he's a bench coach for the San Diego Padres.
Soon to get his managerial experience, I'm sure.
I would agree with that, too. 3-1 the count on Piscotty.
Then he's got to make the decision if he wants to leave Southern California again.
High strike on Piscotty. Strike zone from Joe West has been a little high. We should say higher than most. Doesn't make it a bad strike zone. It's just where his is tonight. And that time it's a ball. The second walk issued by Garrett. And it brings in Johnny Peralta. The Chevy Fox tracks, it missed, but not by much. One out runner at first, and it brings in Peralta. And Piscotty is back in safely. Garrett in spring training was in a battle with Robert Stevenson, Cody Reed, Sal Romano for the final spot. They all live together. As Steven back in safely. They train in Arizona. But the one in the house that garnered most of the attention was Garrett's pit bull, Dozier. And he wanted to break the stigma that all pit bulls are dangerous. He was picked up after being abused as a dog, and now it's his dog. He said he's the love of his life right now. And asked about his favorite meal, he said an In-N-Out burger. Needed to put weight on him.
And where he's from in Victorville, California, they have an In-N-Out burger.
The 1-0 pitch. And if you're wondering, it's for both. He liked the In-N-Out burger, and so did the dog, as that ball is caught in the fencing in front of the dugout of the Reds.
It's just another ball caught on something. But I was saying, I'm impressed. I think for a big league debut, he's keeping his off-speed stuff down. He's moving his fastball around. He's throwing it in. He's being able to elevate it at times. It's pretty impressive to see a young man go out there and pitch with some poise.
High school senior national slam dunk contest. He won that with a 360 off the side of the backboard. And when he was asked recently if he could do it again, he said, not a chance. No more. I can't dunk anymore.
I'm sure he can dunk, but
just
not like
the
that.
360s.
Yeah. Get a chance to check him out on YouTube. It's pretty entertaining, by the way.
You were showing me some of those highlights. We showed the folks at home some of those, but he's got another tape that's out there on YouTube, and it's incredible the athleticism that he shows.
Eduardo Perez sent me a nice video of him just in case we wanted to use it, and I said, I think our truck's got it under control.
And on the slider, Peralta strikes out. Second strikeout for the lefty that brings in Yadier Molina. Garrett also played in high school with Bryce Harper and Joey Gallo. Think about that high school team. Biscotti is running, and he is out. Second base. So caught stealing is Stephen Piscotty, and that sends us to the fifth. You bring your glove to the ballpark and save some fans along with it. Brad as well, and welcome Sarah Daly to Cardinal Broadcast here for 2017. Sarah is the daughter of Ken Daly, outstanding left-hander with the Cardinals. Making a name in her own right. Here's Zach Cozart. Double to right center back in the second inning. Career high 16 home runs a year ago. And watch his approach. He has really tried to relax his hands and rest the bat on his shoulder. First 2 weeks of spring training were very tough on him, and then he went back and looked at some of the best hitters in baseball, not just with the Reds, but in all of baseball, and noticed a common trait of relaxing the bat on the shoulder. And ever since he's been doing this, he's really just took off.
I think sometimes when you stand up there, especially nowadays, you get in the box and you're kind of waiting on the pitcher, and it's a little uncomfortable. You're just standing there. You don't know what to do. You don't have if you don't have a complete routine, so you get tense. That's a good way to relax and just sit up there and wait for the pitcher to come to you.
Cozart is 2 for 2.
See up there nice and relaxed, just relieve the tension right there at the end and hit the baseball. It's really simple.
You would do that. You were spread out, wide base, and then kind of rest the bat on your shoulder.
I felt like if I held the bat normally, and when I was standing there, I kind of didn't know what to do with the ball, with my arms and my hands, and the longer you had to wait, the more it was uncomfortable.
Scooter Gennett with a fly ball out to deep left, going back. Richick and makes the catch on the edge of the track, and Cozart not tagging up, back to the bag at first. Well, that little guy, it might be tough to clap tonight, but he's finding a way. Good to see mom, dad, and youngster here at the ballpark.
Good job by Randall going back, and I like that right there. He kind of just let the ball carry him into the warning track, didn't try to really do too much and get too choppy with his feet. Just catch the ball knowing the man on first base is not going to tag. Just catch the ball first and then get it in.
Barnhart up the middle and a base hit. Cozart on his way to third, and the Reds have something going here in the top of 5 as the ball gets away from Colton Wong, but not enough to advance. Zach Cozart. Saturday 30,000 fans. That's tomorrow. Ages 16 and older take home a Yadier Molina bobblehead courtesy of Ford, and a limited number of the bobbleheads will feature gold or platinum gloves. Be sure to check out a life-size version of the Yachty bobblehead in Ford Plaza. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. So the pitcher's spot here, runners at first and third. Garrett struck out first time up. The corners are in. They have a play, and Cozart is tagged out. Trying to get the bunt down. Cozart coming down the line, and Molina nails Zach Cozart, scurrying back to the bag at third.
I'm not sure if that's a safety squeeze or a big time effort on the bunt. He's actually breaking down the line a little bit. It's got to be a safety squeeze, hoping he gets the ball down. You're supposed to wait till the ball gets down on the grass, but you're always trying to cheat. You never want to get thrown out at home mentally. So just too big of a lead and too quick of a jump.
And a huge play.
Lucky break for the Cardinals.
Oh, 0-2 the count. With 2 outs and a runner at first. That's it out of play, foul. To shift in momentum in the game too. Here are the Reds. They're starting to get something going against Mike Leake. National League though style of baseball. Pitcher comes up. Decisions to be made, and that one did not work for Brian Price. Leake trying for strikeout number 6. And a foul ball.
To Brian Price's credit, I think that's a good call with Mike Leake on the mound. Not overpowering, throws strikes. Probably not going to throw first pitch slider to the pitcher. With guys, I mean, with guys on base, it doesn't matter, but that's a good spot right there. Taking a gamble, it just didn't work.
0-2 the count. A swing and a miss, strikeout number 6. It's another heads-up play from the 8-time Gold Glover Yadier Molina. Peralta going to the line, hits him in stride. Cozart out, no score. And it's the Reds and Cardinals tomorrow. We'll come your way 12:30 pregame show. Bronson Arroyo back in the big leagues. And he'll go against Michael Wacha, who is 6-1 lifetime in 12 career starts against these Reds. 12:30 with the pregame, and Michael can make a case he was the best starter in spring training for the Cardinals. Was very, very good. Molina hits it down the right field line. That ball is slicing, and it is foul.
Did you see him hop?
He wanted that one.
Yeah, they all count, and they all are very hard to get. They try to tell you that they all even out, but if you're a hitter, you don't believe in that at all.
Nope.
Cool.
Oh, 0-2 the count. Outfield is shallow, straight away. Second Red starter to make his debut in as many days. Yesterday it was Rookie Davis. That's the name he goes by, Rookie Davis. Inside corner, Molina strikes out. That's 3 tonight for Garrett. This kid's impressive.
You know what? He's doing a really good job. Like I said, he's moving the ball around. He's keeping his off-speed stuff down. He's not afraid to pitch inside. And when he goes inside, he's not missing out over the plate. He's not running balls back into the zone to get hit.
Pitch taken high by Randall Grichuk. Flied out to right first time up. It's 3 more strikeouts tonight and a total of 30 now in 3+ games as Grichuk sends a fly ball into shallow center. Billy Hamilton, Gold Glove finalist a year ago, makes the play. A bit concerning for the Cardinals, but 30 strikeouts. They had 27 in 3 games against Chicago.
Yeah, that's something that happens at the beginning of the year. I don't know. You know, there's always a crazy stat that's going to be out there. Strikeouts are one that you would hope not to be involved in. But, I mean, you go from spring training in the day, you come here at night, but also everyone's turned it up a notch. And it's just a different atmosphere, and it's, you know, it's not going to be the same every day. And hopefully they put those 3 games behind them and work forward.
2 outs, nobody on. Colton Wong at the plate, struck out swinging back in the 3rd.
You know, talking to Brian Price before the game, the Reds manager, and he talked a little bit about the fact that Amir was able to, he thinks, hides the ball a little bit, and where his 92 or 93 might look a little harder. And you see a couple of late swings by some of the Cardinal hitters on just 90 miles an hour.
Good sign there to see Wong pick up a base hit against a lefty. It brings in Mike Leake. Prior to the Wong hit, he owned the only hit of the night for St. Louis. With a base hit to center.
I like that Colton Wong swing right there, especially after his first at bat. Got a good pitch up in the zone, stayed through it, didn't try to do too much.
Leake on the first pitch, fouls it back just below us.
Oh.
We still haven't had a ball make it into the booth. And I got the right guy sitting next to me if it happens.
If I'd have had a net, I still wouldn't have caught it.
You would have made it close. The changeup was strike, nothing in 2. You know, I've caught one of those when I saved Al in Milwaukee. Saved his life, really. And it hurt.
Things spinning.
It hurt. The 0-2 pitch to Mike Leake. Long look by Garrett. Now time is called. Wong probably not going anywhere with the pitcher up in an 0-2 count. You wouldn't think.
Would you?
Well, I'd put it this way. He's probably worried about the wrong guy. Little bit high with the changeup. Two balls and 2 strikes. Short lead at first by Wong.
I think Amir Garrett was shaking his head because he's been able to get the high fastball a couple times, but the changeup in the same location, not a strike. You can see kind of a little bit miffed at where that zone might be for certain pitches.
Did you get along with Joe West?
Most of the time.
He's a character now.
He is definitely a character. He's in charge back there. He'll let you know.
2-2 is a foul ball. Singing Cowboy.
I was going to say, yeah, Cowboy Joe West.
Multiple CDs that he's put out.
Got a couple Cowboys in the stadium tonight. There's one for their the visiting TV.
Jeff Brandley,
yeah,
the Cowboy.
visiting TV squad over there. One behind the plate.
Off speed pitch, and he strikes out Leake. So 2 in the inning for tonight. Pitchers duel. Leake and Garrett, who's making his major league debut. We head to the 6th, and there's no score. Once in a lifetime experiences, from Cardinals games to amazing concerts to shows you just don't want to miss. StubHub connects you with the world of live. StubHub, your ticket out. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. Billy Hamilton, Jose Peraza, and Joey Votto. Hamilton saw an uptick in his offense a year ago, and he credits Votto for that. Those two would come out early, and Votto, at his request, asked if Hamilton would be in his group, take early BP. Those two would talk about hitting approaches, some of the fundamentals of the game. Probably not going to learn from anybody better than Joey Votto.
I thought that was an interesting story because Joey is a very quiet guy, and some would say kind of odd or strange, but he's a super nice guy. He just stays to himself. He really works on the game by himself. And he brought Billy Hamilton into his world and started talking about baseball and thought process, and it really helped Billy. And I think that's a great thing for Joey, going out of your comfort zone for the benefit of one of your players. I mean, that's a way that in the dugout and in the locker room, that's the way you learn. You learn from everyone in there. You take a little piece from here and there. It's what we talked about in spring training with Lance Lynn. He was trying to be someone else on the mound, and then he said, you know what, I'm going to take a little of this and a little of that from these guys, and then I'm going to be myself. He can be a better ball player that way.
So base hit by Hamilton to left, and that's his second hit tonight. He's 2 for 3. We'll see how aggressive he wants to be. Was not running back in the 3rd, but that was with 2 outs. There he goes on the first pitch. Throw by Molina is not in time. Stolen base, Billy Hamilton. And Mike Matheny immediately hopping out of the dugout as Diaz motioned over there as if he wanted them to take a look at this, and they will. And Hamilton shaking his hand as he dove in head first.
Yachty got rid of this ball in a hurry, and he throws this ball to the right side of the bag.
He's out.
He's out.
Yep.
But that's what the speed does. It makes you rush. It makes things change. And not like the Yachty we know, threw the ball to the wrong side of the bag and cost him just like that.
So Peraza, good chance here. Man in scoring position. Ground ball. Diaz backhands. Looks back. Hamilton and makes the play. You know, the Reds came in after the 3 games against the Phillies. They were just 4 for 25 with runners in scoring position. A year ago, they were second best in baseball when they hit 274, and Peraza cannot advance. Billy Hamilton to 3rd. That's a big out.
Yeah, and this is part of being a young team and knowing how and when to get guys over. Obviously, that's the win, but how is just as important. And it looked like he tried to get out there and push it to right field to second base, but he didn't let the ball travel far enough. He didn't let it get deep, and he ended up rolling over, and probably with the right intentions, but not the way you do it. Obviously, get the ball deep and push the ball off to the right side. I'd rather see a foul ball there than actually rolling over and hitting a ground ball to short.
Joey Votto, highest career on-base percentage, minimum 4,000 at-bats, and look at the names on that list that he's a part of. 424, his career OBP. And now he puts the Reds on top. A base hit into right. Hamilton will score. Joey Votto on his way to second base. His first hit in this series, and it's a double that makes it 1-0 Reds. When you have Duvall and Schebler behind Votto, so important this season for the Reds. First base open, the question becomes, how much do you give to Joey Votto to hit?
Give Joey some credit right there for swinging the bat.
Sure.
Most guys would have thought, oh, he's going to walk me. Take a pitch right there. Might have taken a strike, got yourself behind, and then you have to really do some work.
Duvall over 2, pair of strikeouts. Remember Tony La Russa used to talk about how he would approach a lineup, the opposition's lineup, and he would say, that guy, whoever it is not going to beat me. I think everybody would say that's the guy that's not going to beat me when you face the Reds.
Especially with the right-hander on the mound. Might be a great opportunity to listen to the post game and see what Mike Matheny's answer to that question is going to be.
And he might say, look, I'm leaving it up to Mike Leake and Yadier Molina to execute in terms of we're pitching to him but not giving him anything to hit. Just going to pitch around him. Votto picks up the RBI double. His second RBI this year, 1-0 Reds. And here's a 1-2 pitch. Take a look at location here.
Well, and you can see right there. Yep.
See, Molina was setting up
way outside.
Yeah, half foot at least. The 2-2. I had a conversation with somebody today about that situation. If you're not going to pitch to Joey Votto, why even throw him? Just put the 4 fingers up and put him on. Why do you even mess with it? Because these guys, as Tony would always say, they're human, they're not machines.
Was just thinking that same thing. I've had that conversation with Tony La Russa hundreds of times, and he said you wouldn't believe what's happened when I've asked them not to throw a strike. Home runs, why, you know, everything has happened, so you just never know.
Out to center, backing up. Fowler makes the catch. Votto staying put at second base. It was a fun conversation with the individual that I had, and he said, well, what would you do? I said, I put up 4 fingers every time. I just take that out of the equation. I walk somebody. But in this case, a mistake by Leake, and Votto got him. Here's Schebler, rounded out to first and also struck out.
Well, the good news is we've answered our own question.
There you go. Ground ball pulled foul. You know, a year ago you would say do what you have to do to get into the Reds bullpen, which was historically bad a season ago. They only have 2 that remain from the bullpen last year, Tony Cingrani and Blake Wood. They carry currently 9 in their pen. Votto is off and running, throw down to third, and what a play by Peralta. The shift was on, and Yadi led him perfectly. Terrific on both ends. Peralta and Molina. Billy Hamilton, the base hit, the steal, and a run scored. 1-0 Cincinnati. Highest on base percentage by leadoff hitters. This is from a year ago. Dexter Fowler, 393. Then Carpenter and Charlie Blackmon, who was talked about potentially coming to St. Louis before the signing of Fowler. And Fowler rips it out to left, but there's Duvall to make the catch. That's what makes the top of this lineup dangerous for the Cardinals. Fowler, Diaz, Carpenter, all high on-base percentage guys.
And all got pop. Can hit the ball out of the ballpark at any given time. And that combination right there is scary for the pitching staff.
Here's a lead miss Diaz, fly to right and also fly to center. Diaz now firmly entrenched as the everyday shortstop. Falls behind, 0-2. Last year hit an even 300. 5th in the Rookie of the Year ballot. So he made the All-Star game filling in for Matt Carpenter. Pulls that pitch foul. With 2 strikes, A year ago, he had 266. Very good. Part of the Kubota Power Stats. This is at Busch Stadium 3. So home, 104 home runs of their 225 a year ago at this ballpark. You think about 2016 defined by poor defense, poor home record, but a lot of home runs. Diaz, a ground ball that's hit to second. Peraza makes the play, and there's 2 down. Cardinals last year, 225 home runs, which was second in all of baseball, and the second highest total in franchise history. When they hit a home run a year ago, they were 30 games above the 500 mark.
Just needed to hit a few more.
I think what was shocking, though, was, Jimmy, how they played at home. They were 38-43. And in 125 years of Cardinal baseball, as Carpenter rounds into the shift, that was only the 13th losing home campaign. The Cardinals go in order. Garrett has been tough. Only 2 hits allowed. We head to the 7th. Lead of 1-0. A Joey Votto double to bring in Billy Hamilton. Section 131 here at the ballpark. The hooded sweatshirt giveaway tonight. Yachty bobblehead tomorrow. Stephen Piscotty jersey giveaway on Sunday. Schebler left standing after the play by Molina. Yachty turning into Peyton Manning to Pierre Garçon tonight.
Twice tonight. Leading
Johnny Peralta a couple times down at third. 3-0. Well, the starters have been very good. First 4 games. The bullpen has had their issues at the Cardinals. A leadoff walk. The bullpen 9 1/3, 7 earned in the 3 games against Chicago. And you can see Leake lasting this inning and beyond. Only 75 pitches.
Stay away from the leadoff walk. Come back here, make a couple good pitches. Trying to right now. You got to try to get the ground ball. Keep the ball down. Maybe out over the plate. Little BP fastball. Swing over the top of it.
This is the red hot Zach Cozart. Very short lead at first by Schebler. And the 0-1 pitch. In the dirt, kept in front by Molina. Big gap in left center. It's always interesting to hear the approaches and see the approaches of center fielders. You were one that played very shallow. We've seen in spring and early on this year, Dexter Fowler fairly deep. You didn't mind going back on a ball. You like to take away that shallow base hit, the potential of it. There's your double play potentially. And does Long hold on? He does. The tough feed there by Peralta.
Be interesting to see if this ball actually hit the bag or Colton let the ball get too deep on him and it hit the bag through his glove. Oh, it short hopped him. Hard to tell from up here.
Good job by Colton to stay with it.
It's a heck of a play to keep that around that area. It's a tough play for Johnny trying to hurry. I find this double play deal is super interesting now because all of what you've been taught your whole life has now changed because you just have to get the ball to second baseman. He doesn't have to worry anymore.
Right.
And what's funny is when I see that play developing, my first thought on my mind is, uh-oh, he's going to get killed.
Somebody's going to go hard after him.
Yeah, that's the first thought on my mind, and then I have to regroup and look. and watched the play develop thinking, oh man, he could just, if he throws the ball in the bag, all he's got to do is catch it and try to turn it. And if he's out, he's out. If he's not enough time.
Guys that went in hard to second base, former Cardinal hitting coach Al McRae. Vicious. The 0-1. Pulled foul.
Maybe where Scott Rowland learned it. How about Albert Bell into Fernando Vina?
That's another one.
That's a little different.
You know, there is a new rule this year that does not get a lot of attention with Major League Baseball. The Albert Bell play was when Vina was trying to field the ball, and the runner has to avoid that fielder if possible. Within 3 feet, you cannot go out of the baseline, and if you are, you're automatically out. Trying to avoid a tag. A fly ball lifted out to right center. Catch made by Fowler. So when you see those guys trying to dance around a second baseman and avoid the tag, you only have 3 feet. And the idea is they want to create the double play. So if you're outside that 3 feet, you're automatically out. In that case, Vina or a second baseman would not have to chase the runner. He just could turn and throw to first, and he's out. But it's a rule that doesn't get talked about a lot right now in Major League Baseball.
Well, then was it here where we had a play, or I was watching TV and somebody basically had a brain cramp and almost attempted to break up the double play with a little bit of a slide, and nothing happened.
And a fly ball into center. We now go to Sarah Daly, Brad Thompson for Unlimited Baseball Break, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. And Michael Lorenzen, this will be his 3rd appearance. Interesting story with Lorenzen. One of the reasons why that they keep 9 bullpen guys is that Lorenzen acts as a bench player. He was a center fielder at Cal State Fullerton. Some believed he could have been a two-way player. He always believed that. Cincinnati said, though, look, we drafted you. We think your quickest path to the big leagues is to be a pitcher. And that's what he did primarily in the minor leagues. However, they have found out he can turn on a fastball, and he had a 430-foot home run the other day as a pinch hitter. So when they know that he is off limits as a reliever, he is on their bench and used as a pinch hitter. So he's kind of the slash role here as a 5th man off their bench, but also he's used in their pen. This is the home run inning presented by Honda. Cardinals hit a home run. $1,000 will be donated to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. And the first pitch to Stephen Piscotty is taken for a ball. He's a hard thrower, too.
Safe to say these last 2 pitchers are probably some of the best 1-2 athletes in the game.
Absolutely. Inside, 2-0. Piscotty tonight has walked and then was caught stealing back in the 4th. Also flied out to right.
That's easy 95 too. He's not really stressing it out.
Yeah. Well, you look at him too. He keeps himself in great shape. And the Reds have talked about potentially at some point maybe even putting him in the field if they needed to. They would have no qualms about doing that. The 2-1 pitch. One of the famous moments, and they say probably the best moment of the year a year ago in 2016 was Lorenzen hitting a home run, and it was just a day or two after his dad had passed away, and by the time he reached home plate he was bawling, and obviously a very emotional moment for him in remembering his father. The 2-2. Ground ball left side, cut off there by Jeanette. The Cardinals tonight with just 2 hits. So Michael Lorenzen yesterday as a pinch hitter, and goodbye. Pretty impressive. One of the deepest parts of the park. Opposite way just a bit too.
Wow.
impressive, huh?
Yes.
Here's Johnny Peralta. Crowd tonight of 44,653, 44653. This is a bullpen a year ago that had an ERA over 5. And they allowed 256 home runs. The Hyundai pitch arsenal, which is an all-time major league record. They led the National League in walks, hit by pitches, but yet in the 3 games against the Phillies, their bullpen went 12 1/3 and gave up just 1 run.
It's a lot of growing up to do in 1 year.
Ooh.
This kid's got a good arm too.
Strikeout of Johnny Peralta. Cardinals have struck out 5 times tonight, 32 in the first 3+.
'97, 88-mile-an-hour slider. You look up there when you're on deck, you really haven't got a chance to face him. You see that and you're thinking, okay, what am I going to do here to combat both of those pitches? You go up there swinging at the first pitch, hoping to get a fastball. Or, like he did with those 2 guys, sliders back to back.
A broken bat, and Molina grounds out softly to short. Cardinals go quietly in the home half of the 7th. It's 1-0 Cincinnati. Count for Mike Leake at 82. 57 have been strikes. We're in the top of the 8th. Good ball game. It's 1-0. Eugenio Suarez is in the pitcher's spot. Then Billy Hamilton and Jose Peraza. On their bench, they have Suarez. They have Stuart Turner, who's a backup catcher, Rule 5 pickup from Minnesota. Esmende Alcantara, a switch hitter. There's a broken bat hit to the right side. Leak to the bag, and he's there for the out. The story in this game, the speed of Billy Hamilton and a mistake by Mike Leake to Joey Votto, and that's been the story. That's it.
Pretty much it. Good pitching.
PFP, they were doing this the other day before the game, pitchers fielding practice, and did it again before the game tonight.
Works like a charm, and I'll tell you what, the Reds have probably practiced on their safety squeeze bunt all spring training and did not work.
Yeah.
So you just never know what you're going to get come game time.
With 2 more hits tonight, Billy Hamilton is 7 for 9 against Mike Leake. And one catches Molina. Ouch. He stumbles to get up.
Those are the worst.
Kevin Segras throwing in the Cardinals pen as Joe West giving Molina a little chance to catch his breath. And an 0-2. Chopped off the plate. Molina makes the play. Boy, what a play there by Yadier Molina. And I look to my right. One of the best defensive players of his era was Jim Edmonds, and you're shaking your head in disbelief of Yadier Molina.
Not disbelief, but I was waiting to see how he was going to approach that, because that's the only way he can make that play. And if you watch him right here carefully, there's no way he can shuffle his feet and break down and throw it. You got to just throw it on the run. And it's pick it up and throw it. And it doesn't matter. They teach you, make sure you step with this foot and do. No, you pick it up and you throw it. You could be in between steps, wrong foot, step going forward. It doesn't matter. And he did it perfectly.
Here's Peraza over 3.
And that's what is the difference between really good players and just average players, is the ability to do something like that without any thought process at all.
Little fly ball out to right. And Mike Leake. Terrific job here tonight. 8 innings. 1 run. Grichuk, Wong, and Leake spot coming up. Presented by Edward Jones is underway. Vote for local legend Jason Isringhausen, the all-time saves leader in Cardinal history. Scott Rowland, Big Mac, Tim McCarver, Keith Hernandez, Steve Carlton, or Edgar Renteria. Only 2 will be inducted, and it's up to Cardinals Nation to decide. Vote now at cardinals.com/HOF. Over 40,000 here tonight. And the new pitcher in for Cincinnati, a right-hander, Raisel Iglesias. He's been in and out of their pen. They tried him in the starting rotation. When you watch him throw, very similar to El Duque, Orlando Hernandez. That front leg that has a high leg kick. So Iglesias comes in to face 7, 8, and 9 in this lineup. Mike Leake's longest season opening debut, 8 innings here tonight. Cardinals will pinch hit for him as they need some offense. Cardinals with only 2 hits tonight. They've been out hit 6-2, trail 1-0. First pitch to Grichuk is a strike. Amir Garrett making his major league debut tonight. 6 innings, 2 hits. Lorenzen is scoreless 7th, and now Iglesias here in inning number 8.
Really good job by those guys keeping all the damage to a minimum. I mean, even just because of the 2 hits, but just pitched really well and kept people off base, and see the result.
Ooh. Some English on that ball. Votto to Iglesias in the out. And Grichuk is hitless tonight. Of the 2 hits, 1 is off the bat of Colton Wong, who's batting in the 8th spot, and the other was the pitcher Mike Leake. Votto, a former Gold Glove winner, and had to stay with that with the English off the end of the bat.
Joey's about as good as it gets at first base. I mean, I don't know how many Gold Gloves he has won, but saying you're a Gold Glove winner is a little bit of an underestimated term for him. I think he is as good as I've ever seen at first base.
1 out, nobody on. The corners are in, anticipating the potential of a bunt here from Colton Wong. Matt Adams has moved to the on-deck circle. 1 ball, 1 strike. I don't remember Iglesias throwing this hard. Pretty good fastball. Slicing foul and out of play. That's a 97 with that pitch.
Pitch before 98. You don't want to take too many fastballs with that kind of stuff. Better be ready to hit.
Ground ball, it's hit to second. 2 outs. The pinch hitter will be Matt Adams, so that closes the book on Mike Leake. 8 innings tonight. 1 run, 6 hits, struck out 6, walked 1. 91 pitches for Leake tonight, and it brings in Adams. Of those 91 pitches, 64 were strikes. And he's pitching ahead in the count, 22 of 30 first pitch strikes.
Being super aggressive, hitting in spots, working quick, with the defense involved. Everything that he is supposed to do, he did tonight. 1 bad pitch. This is a 0-0 game.
Adams with 3 pinch hit home runs a year ago. 1 ball, 1 strike. Iglesias looks tough.
Really tough. And should I say 1 missed location?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say bad pitch.
Here's a 1-1. sometimes guys move to the bullpen and they find velocity.
Well, you can let it go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different game. You can't throw like that for 9 innings. Some guys can, not very many, and you can see a lot of guys gain multiple miles an hour.
Good changeup there at 85. Typically, you like to see at least 10 miles an hour difference, fastball and changeup.
So you might get another one right here.
The 2-2. Spoiled by Adams. Take a look again at the signals being put down by Barnhart. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fowler on deck. 2 outs and nobody on here in the home half of the 8th. Cardinals down by a run. Good cut. Adams in game 2 of the Cubs series, robbed of a home run by Albert Almora.
Tell you what, Danny. I wouldn't mess around with that pitch one more time, or it might be a tie game.
Well, they're going to go with the fastball. Sets up outside.
So you better get it off the plate a little bit. Look for that changeup right here.
This will be pitch number 8 of the at-bat upcoming.
Thing that makes it so hard about hitting. 98. We saw the 2 fastballs in a row. Know he has a good changeup. What are you looking for? You got to be ready for the fastball, but not too ready where you can't see the changeup.
This is where Adams has really found a home. Outside of potentially being an everyday first baseman, maybe playing a little outfield, but a very good pinch hitter.
I just think he's been getting progressively better with his at-bats every time he goes out there. I mean, he's been doing a really good job, whether he's pinch hitting or starting.
3-2 pitch, fouled back.
He gives you a good at-bat no matter what. He's got a good idea of the strike zone. Great power. Love to see him get 500 at-bats.
I would too. This would be pitch number 10 in the at-bat.
Worked really hard this offseason.
Adams a piece of it just to stay alive. Just got a piece of that changeup. Changeup again. Got him. Great battle. Iglesias gets Adams. Raisel Iglesias, the ground out of Grichuk, ground out off the bat of Wong, and a strikeout of Matt Adams. 1-0 we head to the 9th. Heavy call to the pen. Kevin Segrist is in after 8 great innings by Mike Leake. It's time now for our State Farm perfect pair, and we take a look at a couple of defensive gems again from Yadier Molina, leading Johnny Peralta there in the missed bunt, and then this play off the bat of Billy Hamilton. State Farm perfect pair. So Segrist in to face Votto, Duvall, and Schebler. The Cardinals in the bottom of the 9th will have the top of the lineup. St. Louis with only 2 hits tonight. The Hyundai pitch arsenal. Fastball. Changeup. The occasional curve.
Look to see a guy like Votto now. I look to see right here. He's going to go in defense mode. Got a good lefty on the mound. He's got a good day going. Lefties don't like to just challenge other lefties because they don't want to give up the big hit. Joey's going to eyeball him a little bit here. Get himself into a good count. Then take a feeble swing. Unlike Joey Votto right there.
Well, you
for
broke
sure.
that down perfectly.
I was going somewhere with it, but then it's at 2-0. He's going to take a swing at this.
Ice Cream Sundays, our first is coming up on this weekend, this Sunday, presented by Prairie Farms. 2 hours prior to the game, free North Star ice cream and treats in the Ford Plaza while supplies last. You can't say enough about Mike Leake here tonight. The job that he did. 8 innings, a run, 6 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. Now Duvall, and strike 1. Duvall has not been happy with the strike zone all game. Nobody throwing in the pen right now for the Reds. And remember, after the trade of Aroldis Chapman, they still have been in search of a closer. They tried Cingrani, Iglesias, potential of a 2-out, or rather 2-inning save. Backhanded by Peralta. Duvall retired for the 2nd out.
I don't know if you've noticed, but that closer role is not the easiest role in the book.
It's funny, you talk to some guys and they say, what's the big difference? You're going to get 3 outs, maybe facing the heart of the order in the 7th or the 8th, but most people would tell you the last 3 outs are different than the other, 24.
I think sometimes when the game's on the line, some guys at the plate bear down a little bit more and don't want to be the last out.
There's Trevor Rosenthal. Sung-Wan Oh there on the right, Sam Tuivalala on the left. Rosenthal, Cardinals, as Mike Matheny said today, will make a decision as to whether or not send him out on a short rehab or to face live hitters. But his return is imminent. Talked to Trevor the other day. He feels great. He had the sore issue in the lat on the right side. He said, I probably could have pitched through it, but let's take care of it now and not have it linger throughout the season. 1-1 to Schebler. And a fly ball lifted out to deep left. Grichuk back, looks up, and it's gone. Schebler, a home run. And it's 2-0 Cincinnati. That's impressive. Lefty-lefty matchup, and to do that against Kevin Segrist.
Ball caught the middle of the plate, still down, but you said it. I mean, that's some swinging right there. The opposite way, line drive basically. Down in the zone, but give him credit. I mean, he put a good swing on that pitch.
Now Zach Cozart, pitch inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Red shortstop is 2 for 3 today. Good changeup, 2-1. Benny will tell you that's the pitch that separates minor league pitchers from big league pitchers. The 2-0 changeup.
I wasn't going to say it, but that was right on my mind right there. I mean, I just looked up and saw a 2-0 pitch right there. That is a big league pitch.
Last year, Segrist gave up a total of 3 home runs to left-handed batters. And it's a 2-out walk to Cozart. Brings in Scooter Gennett. 2 outs and a runner at first. It's ball 1. Cubs and Brewers tied 1-1. That's in the top of the 7th. Pittsburgh a winner in their home opener today against the Atlanta Braves 5-4. Washington over the Phillies 7-6. Rockies over the Dodgers in their opener 2-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Anybody stand out for you in the Central this year?
I like what I saw out of the pitching staff tonight with both teams here. Obviously the Cubs I think are pretty talented. Haven't really seen much of the Pirates.
Be hard not to look at that Cubs team and say they're the team to beat.
I think if you're in St. Louis or Chicago, you got to be thinking that about both of your teams.
Sure. A ball and a strike on Scooter Gennett. He's lined out, flied out twice. The 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball. 1-2. It's a pitch that Segrist used a little bit more of last year. The year before that, primarily a fastball changeup repertoire. And the 1-2 to Gennett. Runner goes, breaking ball, and it is a foul ball. Scooter, obviously not his given name. His given name is Ryan, and Scooter was picked up when he was watching a cartoon as a kid, and he loved the cartoon. I can't remember which one it was, but family gave him the nickname of Scooter, and it stuck.
Apparently it stuck. Still got it today.
1-2 pitch. Just missed. It's funny, you know, we're talking about these teams and which team may do what. When it all comes out of the wash in 162 games, it's pitching, it's defense. It's being fundamentally sound. Avoiding injuries in your starting 5. The 2-2 runner goes. Throw by Molina is offline. Another aspect of Kevin Segrist, not great at holding runners on.
Being a big guy, a little bit longer to the plate. Get a good read, get a good jump, you got a chance. But back to what you were saying, this game is never going to change. It's all about pitching, defense.
Yep.
Get some timely hit, but luck. Healthy. Stay healthy for the whole season. It's a huge part of it.
The cartoon, by the way, that or the show that Scooter liked was the Muppets. Nice play by Molina. And in particular, Muppet Babies. You have a young baby at home, you'll be watching Muppet Babies.
I was just going to say, I thought that was your favorite show.
Why are you going to take shots at me?
Well, I mean, whenever I look at your phone and you got the Muppets on, I can't think that maybe your kids were watching it, but I'm starting to think that maybe it was just you.
You're the one with like 20 kids.
You're right.
You've been through the Muppet Babies hundreds of times.
The Muppet Babies are going back around. Shots fired. Anybody duck.
Here's Tucker Barnhart, back-to-back walks, and it's fouled back. You know, part of being a manager too is understanding how to use a bullpen, and in this particular spot you've got, you know, one of your top guys now with 23 pitches upcoming. It's always curious early in a season, could you bring him back tomorrow?
I feel like when this happens a lot, and as a player, I always remember this night before day. seems to happen all the time with the closer. Don't want to use the closer, and then all of a sudden he goes out there because the game comes back, and you throw him out there and something goes wrong, and or one of your guys has to throw more pitches, and knowing you got to turn around and come back at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Sure. 0-2 pitch, and he struck him out. Home run by Scott Schebler, but the Cardinals have the top of the order coming up in the bottom of the ninth. Dexter Fowler, Aledmys Diaz, and Matt Carpenter. Presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends. By Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. And we're underway here in the ninth. Dexter Fowler is lined out, flied out, and also walked. Second inning of work for Raisel Iglesias. Very effective in the eighth with a strikeout, 2 groundouts. Iglesias, when he came back out to warm up, actually was behind the mound to throw his pitches. Here he is. Did that for 2 or 3 pitches to get loose. And the 0-2 inside.
Chilly night, get loose again, little flat ground. Sometimes those guys throw on the flat ground like that, makes that downhill really that much more down, if you know what I mean.
That's it out of play. Tim Hudson, sometimes what he would do when warming up would go to the back of the mound, but not leave the mound to the grass area, but would simulate throwing uphill, so it accentuated what it felt like going down.
I do remember that.
1-2 pitch and a strikeout of Fowler. Fox Saturday Baseball is coming up. Reds and Cardinals on Midwest. Tomorrow will come your way at 12:30 pregame show. FS1, the Yankees and the Orioles. Cardinals with 2 hits in this ballgame. Matt Holliday will be on display for the Yankees. His first home run in pinstripes tonight. Aledmys Diaz popped up on the outfield grass. Zach Cozart, 2 down. So Iglesias 1 out away from a 2-inning save. Trying to pick up a win for the rookie and major league debut of Amir Garrett. Our Budweiser player of the game, 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, walked 2, struck out 4. It was Garrett for 6. The Reds in a scoreless 7th. And now Iglesias in inning and 2/3, and it brings in Matt Carpenter. Carpenter is 0 for 3. Shift is on. Trying any way to get on to bring the tying run to the plate. Here's a 1-0 pitch.
This is what we were talking about earlier about that last out, that last couple outs. I know the first couple guys swung early in the count because he's throwing 96, 97, but you're going to see right here Matt Carpenter is going to do anything he can to get on base to get a chance for the tying run to come to the plate.
The 2-0. 3-0. What we talked about before, he's comfortable hitting with 2 strikes. He might be taking 2.
Solo homer doesn't really do much right here.
Three and 1. 3-1 pitch to Carpenter, and he walked him. Tying run will come to the plate. So brings in Stephen Piscotty, who was in the cleanup spot for the first time this year. Mike Matheny asked about that before the game. He said the number 4 spot in our lineup is a fluid situation, but he's the best option today, and he'd love to see him come through right now. Votto playing off the bag. Carpenter will take second, more than likely. There he goes. And the pitch is a strike with a slider. Fielder's indifference. No steal for Carpenter. And change up the signs with a man at second base. Piscotty tonight has walked, was caught stealing in the 4th. Grounded out to 3rd and also flied out to right. Nasty pitch.
He's got a really good slider to go with that 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
And then against right-handers, he'll drop down. 0-2 the count. Piscotty check swing. He went, and the ball game is over. So after winning the home opener, the Cardinals have dropped 3 straight, and they are 1-3 in their first 4 games. Amir Garrett, first Red starter.